Nicks and bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. Yes, we a little late. I know we've been doing the lunchtime edition, but Queen's on vacation, so I got to sleep in a little bit. Got my guy DJ Shuttle in the building. What up, Shuttle?
All aboard. Preseason, game one under the belt. Yeah, I mean, we getting closer to real time.
Yeah, I think we like what 2 weeks away.
2 weeks.
2 weeks away, and Wednesday. Look forward to that. Before we talk about the preseason, I didn't get to acknowledge Patrick Ewing being brought back to the organization as a ambassador. They say he's going to be working with the front office. He's going to be working with the coaching staff as well. Um, Shout out to Patrick Ewing. Shout out to the Knicks for bringing him back. This is big for me personally. You know what I mean? I feel like when we got rid of him, when we traded him, that's when the Knicks and bruises began. To be honest, I
Man,
think
listen,
that was the start of the Knicks and bruises. Like, granted, y'all seen the intro when I play it. We got Charles Smith, we got Hewens missed layup and all that. Those was we got Hewens. Starks. What 2 for 17? All those was Knicks and bruises, but it wasn't as bad as it felt at the time. You know what I mean? Those was the glory days. Once things started to transpire as we saw. So yeah, man, I think the curse is lifted. You know what I mean? The curse is lifted, and it'll be great if we could win it all and get this man his ring that he should have got in his playing days. So yeah, shout out to P Human. Um Shutter, what's your thoughts, man? How you feeling about it? What do you think the impact can be, if not just sentimental? Because I think he can help in a lot of different areas. But what's your thoughts when you got the news? Shout out to the chat, Walter White in the building. Long time, appreciate you.
yeah, um, yeah, like Pat being traded, like yeah, that could be absolutely identified as the kickoff to Knicks and bruises in the most painful way. So, um, hopefully, this does lift the curse. Absolutely. So, um, I don't know what he's gonna do exactly. I hear what they're saying. They're throwing these fancy names and titles around, but what exactly will he do? I'm will I kind of want to pause a little bit to see what his impact will actually be. Um, he wasn't really much of a media guy, so I don't know if anything's changed that he's going to be great with media. Maybe he's behind the scenes. Maybe they just gave him this title, but really they just kind of want to embrace him and bring him back to the organization, and he'll just do whatever it makes sense to do. I'm hoping he spends some time with Cat, with Sims, with Porty. You know what I mean? I'm hoping he does some of that. Like this ambassador title is great, but we got some bigs that could maybe use a little education.
For sure, for sure. And they mentioned him helping the front office, him helping the coaching staff. So that was the thing that stuck out to me from the jump. Shout out to Tony Bell in the building. Yeah, I think he could. You left out Mitch. I don't know if that was intentional or unintentional, but yeah, I think he can help out Mitch. I think he can help out Cat. I think he can help out all of our bigs for sure. Um,
Please,
in multiple
please forgive me. I didn't mean any. I didn't mean any shade there by not. I guess I was just thinking about players that were actually here and available.
I feel you, bro. I'm just you know how we go back and forth on Mitch, but yeah, but I think P Human could help all these guys, man. If not just working out individually, I don't know if that's even a possibility, but just being able to pick his brain and get little tidbits on positioning or on defensive strategies and things of that nature, I think he could help 100%. And the fact that he's dipped his toes in the coaching waters, not saying he's part of that staff, but yeah, he could be able to pull these guys to the side and give them little little information, little things to help their game. So I think it's more than just sentimental. You know what I mean? He can help with individual guys games and affect in that way. But on the sentimental part, man, like I said, the curse is lifted. I feel like we need that aura. You know what I mean? Like you said, he wasn't very big in media before. I think over his time leaving the league, he's gotten better. Obviously, as a head coach, that he in Georgetown, he had to talk to the media on a daily basis and be more available in that aspect. So um I'm not saying he's going to be speaking for the Knicks, but I do think we'll get to hear from him a lot more than we did during his playing career. Um, which would be nice,
Yeah, well, we didn't hear from him much, so that's not going to be a whole lot.
no doubt.
It's a growth, but listen, you got arguably the greatest Nick of all time coming back, right? So, I mean, what negative could there really be?
And if he's not one, you know who one is. He's been here the whole time. So you got one and two, arguably, Clyde and Patrick. You
That's
know what I
it.
mean?
That's it. So now, like, this is when you have a winning organization. These are the type of things that winning organizations do. They bring back the legendary guys. They find a role for them. Like Allen Houston's cool. I'm not saying he didn't earn no stripes here. He did, but he certainly is not Patrick Ewing. You know what I mean? So as I said, I think previously, we just got to get Oak back, man. You know what I mean? And hopefully Pat could be a conduit. If you want to be an ambassador to get Oak back.
Hey, if that's his one role and one job, you know what I mean, to smooth the bridge between Oak and the organization and get him back. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I'm all for that as well. And yeah, great point. Get Oak back, clean the waters. You know what I mean? Get the mud out the waters, and it's really smooth sailing as far as a PR perspective, and just bringing all the old Knicks back. And they got the slogan: "Once a Knick, always a Knick." You gotta live by it. You know what I mean? You gotta live by it and honor it.
Oak put a lot more sweat and tears in. He put more sweat and tears than a lot of people that get
And
that get once a Nick, always a Nick,
blood too,
and elbows.
for sure. But yeah, speaking of wins, Knicks got the win. First preseason game, preseason opener, first look. Big cat on the team. Um, the starting five, we got a glimpse into what Tibbs was talking about and his idea of who's gonna start. What was your thoughts? What was your thoughts of the first look of the new Knicks?
I mean, seeing your son catch and shoot 5 feet from behind the 3-point line was like, okay, nah, it's definitely a new day. It's definitely a new day. Um, you know, I'm kind of taking a wait and see approach with Josh Hart in the starting lineup. I'm still advocating for Precious to be in that lineup. You got four studs. Precious with four studs is reasonable. And I like Hart off the bench, coming with Deuce, coming with Shamet, coming with, these guys, maybe even Pacome. But yeah, I'm not jumping off the ledge too quick. I'm not booking tickets to the NBA finals yet. You know what I mean? But it was so exciting to see the center shoot that far from three, and just like, I mean, like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm not sweating it. Like, yo, I'm playing ball. Whoop, catch, shoot, drill it, and again, it's still preseason, but man, Tyler the Creator coming in, clutch in the fourth.
Yeah, we gonna go through.
Oh man,
Let's play by player. Let's stick with Cat. You know what I mean? First and foremost, um, the starters played the first half, or I should say didn't play in the second half. You
Right.
know what I mean? You know what I mean? They played, relatively about 18 minutes apiece. Um 5 3-point attempts for Cat in that first half of action. 1 for 5. Nobody shot the ball extremely well. You know what I mean? Everybody's getting a rust out first time on a in a game together, not scrimmaging. You know what I mean, against their own teammates and things of that nature. But yeah, that was the one thing I noticed with Cat on the floor. The open 5 out. I mean, that's a true thing. The floor was spread out. Um, we talked about Cat being a off ball offensive guy. So he's not really demanding the ball. I don't know if that changes as the season moves forward and he's getting more accustomed, but I think that still holds true. So that's a great thing. I think early on, I thought Brunson was going to take a step back this year with all the help he has. I don't think that's the case. I think Brunson's going to be Brunson.
Yeah, that's what it looked like game one anyway.
Um, Trying to think what else did I really the rebounding Cat. I think he's more than capable. Queen pointed that out to me early on. Shout out to Queen too. It's celebrating on vacation in Jamaica, I believe. So enjoy yourself, Queen. Um, but yeah, he could rebound the ball. He could rebound the ball. But one of the main things I noticed was his passing. And we talked about the loss of Isaiah Hartenstein. I think he's gonna fill now. Granted, and we lost Randall in this trade, who was 5 assists per game. I think he's gonna make up for that absence that we had with both of those guys. Um, First pass to OG, he had two backdoor passes to OG, but he missed both of them. But just to look, from the 5 position that far out, closer to the 3 point line, and be able to find the cutter, and those are dunks. I think for OG once he gets back in shape or whatever the case. Both of those. So two backdoor cuts. I noticed from Cat. I think that's the standout thing that I wasn't really anticipating too much. I think he might be able to up his assists. I think he's averaged 3 for his career. I think he might get it up to
Yeah,
five plus.
he's like between 2 and 3 assists per game. So yeah, I mean, considering the weapons on this team and the fact that everybody's going to be moving, a lot of backdoor, like OG's good cutting, Bridges is good cutting, Brunson's going to be good catching, shooting. So I mean, yeah, that remains to be seen. But it looks like he at least has the aptitude to look for the pass and to make the pass. And like I said, most importantly, having players that can actually cut, look for the ball, and finish, like Bridges and OG cut into the basket and Brunson in the 3 point line. I mean, to me, you got three studs that you can pass the ball to. No disrespect to Hart.
Yeah, shout out to Walter White. He said Cat had seasons with 4+ assists.
True.
Um, Shout out to Coach. He says career 3.2 assists. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I thought it was three, in the 3 range. So yeah, somebody else. Let me find it. He said, Coach again says Cat passes better than iHeart.
I saw
Um,
that. I saw that.
and yeah, we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it. 5 attempts in the first half. I already was under the impression we were gonna get 10 attempts from him this year. I don't know if I'm in favor of that or not. That's just my projection, knowing that it's a new weapon, and I think Tibbs is gonna want to utilize it a lot, and the fact that him being out there in general is what is gonna be another weapon for us, just opening the floor. opening the lanes for those backdoor cuts to Brunson, OG, Mikal, um, Hart. If he's the starter, we'll talk about that as well. I mean, I lost my train of thought, but yeah, I think those are the highlights for me. I think his passing was underrated to me. I undervalued it, so I think now that's one of the things I'm looking forward to, or gonna keep a close eye out on. Oh, the other thing, quick decisions. As much as I was a Julius guy, as much as I didn't necessarily agree with people calling him the black hole or etc. Me looking at it from a different angle, where most stars of the team are gonna hold the ball and can be considered ball stoppers. But that is a big difference in their games. With Cat, it's either a quick shot, quick pump fake, quick drive, quick pass, quick decisions. Um, he doesn't really, and that's part of that off ball thing that I was referring to. He doesn't really need the ball long to determine what he's going to do with it, and maybe that's just basketball IQ and him making quicker reads. But I think that is going to be another plus in his addition to this team. But yeah, all in all, Rusty didn't shoot the ball well. I think it was 1 or 2 for 7, something like that in the first half. Like I said, 5 of them was threes, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, I believe. That's gonna be a pleasant surprise from that center position where you could get, 80% plus from the from the free throw line. Game changer for sure. Obviously, that is gonna be able to keep him on the floor. And defense. I saw some defense from him. Not necessarily rim protection, but 2 steals, and the steals were him being active. One of my concerns with him was going to be quick fouls, and obviously people talked about 3 fouls in the third quarter in the playoff series and things of that nature. I don't mind him reaching when he's reaching defending the post, the way he did tonight or yesterday. You know what I mean? It's those perimeters fouls that I think he needs to stay away from, reaching on a perimeter. You're big enough to, if you move your feet and put your arms up, you're big enough to affect the shot and stay on the floor rather than getting called for a foul. But those are the big takeaways for Cat. Anything you want to elaborate on, agree with, disagree with from my little rant part of me?
Hey, listen, it's Tony Crow, Nicks and Bruises. You know what I mean? You ran away. I'm a guess here. So I think that just to kind of to double down, like I mentioned, Brunson passes to him 5 feet behind a three, not even thinking about it, he puts it up. So yeah, he doesn't. He's a quick decision maker overall. He grabbed the ball, took one dribble, maybe 2 dribbles, got to the hoop, made a layup. Could have should have been an N1 maybe on the defender. So he is quick in terms of making decisions, and the passing was more than good enough. Considering the other players that are on this team, it'll be a great compliment. And I think it goes without saying, he's averaged 11 rebounds throughout his career, so he can rebound. It's just, who are you guarding and where are you at on the floor? On this Knicks team, you're gonna be playing center. You won't be playing power forward. This is not Minnesota, so I think that he's going to be in a greater position to rebound and block shots because, like he was early in his career where he played center, unlike the past couple of years, he's been doing power forward. So you get a little further away from the rim more frequently. So there's less block shot opportunities, less rebounding opportunities. So I think on this team, his numbers will go back up to maybe where they were in his top years, rebounding and blocking shots. You on mute, bro?
No, I was just agreeing, saying, yeah, we're gonna need that dynamic, that aspect. One of the concerns again, losing iHeart, Mitch being out, and a staple of our team last year was offensive rebounds. So that was another concern coming into this year. Obviously, I think our shooting percentage goes up, so there's less rebounding opportunities. But we still got to take advantage of the opportunities that are there. And I wondered, are we losing that part of our identity with the changes? And obviously, we lost iHeart and lost Mitch to injury. So
Well,
um,
hopefully, the new identity this year is an amazing 3-point shooting team that leads the league in 3-point shooting. That's my anticipated identity based on the players that are here and based on what they've done.
and not just percentage, because I think we've been top percentage at least at some point in the season. Where we haven't been is in attempts, and I think that is going to skyrocket. I think we shot 48 threes in this first preseason game. I think that was by design. um and I know we shot less than 100 shots, maybe 94 shots or something like that. So it was like more than 50% of our shots with threes. Again, I'm not sure if I like that. I know that's where the NBA is trending, and kudos to Tibbs for adjusting, and people talk about him being stuck in his ways, but I think it is by design, because we've heard it throughout his tenure here, in post games, or the little interviews that he does, that he does want the team to shoot more threes. He said it year in and year out, throughout the years. So here, so it is a conscious effort. Losing DiVincenzo, that was a concern. Bridges not necessarily being, I liking him to DeMar DeRozan in a sense. He probably shoots more threes than DeMar, but that's not his game. I think he's gonna need to shoot more here, or be asked to. Um, so how does he adjust there? That's a perfect transition too. Unless you want to add anything on else with Cat, we can move right on
Sounds
to
good.
Bridges. Um, what I see from Bridges, running the floor for sure. Um, I see a little bit of showing my age, but Kerry Kittles, or Rip Hamilton, you know what I mean, in his game, where he's gonna be leaking out and getting some fast break points. Um, didn't shoot many shots. I don't think. I don't have the numbers. Didn't score many points. Kind of was a quiet game for him.
2 for 5 from the field, 0 for 1 from three, 1 rebound, 4 points.
And there you go. One 3-point attempt. You said 0 for 1.
0 for 1 from three
I think
in 13 minutes.
13 minutes. I think he had the least amount of minutes of the starters. I'm pretty sure.
That's correct.
Um, so very small sample size. Not really much to judge from it. No, no negatives really. He blew a fast break layup, but got the rebound, got a nice putback. You know what I mean? So again, with that offensive rebounds, we're gonna need that from him. I think 3-point attempts. This one attempt, 13 minutes. I'm gonna need more from him in that aspect. You know what I mean? Josh Hart, I think, took two. He was 0 for 2. I don't want Josh Hart necessarily shooting more threes than you, Mikal. So as an individual personal goal, I need you to shoot more threes than Josh Hart per game. So anytime he shoot one, you got to shoot at least one or two. um,
Josh Hart, he'll fire him up.
yes, he will, and he's probably going to be the one that's left open the most, especially in that start if he's in that starting five. Um, yeah, no real standouts for Mikal. I'm looking forward for the progression as the minutes go up, and what he brings. I think Cat's addition. I think his role is solidified as that third option. I know there's a lot of people that were looking and asking for him to kind of step up and be the second option. Um, I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think we get more of Mikal from Phoenix, um, where he was the third option. Where he could focus on the defensive end. Um, Again, he's another off-ball guy that you don't have to put the ball in his hand for him to create plays or make plays. I think if he's playing in that second unit, he can get that opportunity there and excel there. But in that starting five, I think he actually reverts back to the third option, getting the ball less to create and kind of just being the guy that has to make open shots, lock down, defend, add some more rebounding for us, things of that nature. Anything stood out in the brief 13 minutes from him?
Nah, not at all.
Anything you're looking for from him moving
Like
forward?
one thing about me, it's kind of like the scouting count combines. If you've watched the players all season, you know who they are. It's like, how much am I going to see in the scouting combine? So Bridges doesn't have anything to prove to me. This is a guy that plays every game. He plays hard every game. He's a team player, and he can do it all on the court. So, you know, if he has a slow start to the season, like 10, 15 games, that's a different story. But one preseason game, I'm not tripping. You got some new pieces in here. You come in and you just blending in, and you just kind of just like letting things go as they go. I was cool with how he just kind of just went with the flow of the game, but I'm sure he has a switch ready to turn on when the real game start.
Walter White, he says McHale's game is a lot of ball movement, and that's going to take time to anticipate his movements. And I mean, I agree. I definitely think that's not going to be the performance we get from him night in and night out. I do think he's going to, get more comfortable, find his way. It's just nothing really stood out for me in this first one. Um, I
Exactly.
think Bridges will lead the team in minutes. Tibbs giving him a rest before the marathon. Um,
Exactly.
I, I do. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
I
I
see,
have a.
I see him leading the team in minutes.
I, I, I don't know if I should give my who I think is gonna lead the team in minutes. Um, I think there's definitely a good possibility. I think there's definitely a good possibility, but is he leading the league in minutes because? Well, yeah. If I
Not the
anticipate him
league,
playing
not the league, but the team.
with the second unit, yeah, yeah, I can see that for sure. I can see that for sure. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Speaking of the second unit, can we transition to somebody from the second unit, or
Hold,
we got,
hold on, hold,
or we
hold,
want to stay with the first unit first?
yeah, I want to get through the starters. We got three more. Those are the two new additions. We'll breeze through these guys. OG, like I said, he missed two backdoor cuts that I think should have been dunks. I think, you know, in the season, 15 games in, those are dunks, for sure. Um, Seen him step into a nice mid range shot. Think he rebounded the ball well.
6 boards.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna be looking for from him. Like I said, rebound by committee with these workhorse rebounders not on the team or not available right now. So that was very nice to see.
And 2 blocks.
Two blocks. Yeah. Locked in defensively. That's what I want to see from him and McCall. Wingstop. Do your jobs. The warden, and we gotta come up with a individual nickname for OG.
The
But
commander. The commander.
the warden and the commander. There you go. Wingstop. But he did his job. Brunson again did his job. I think he's not taking a step back. I think if anything, with Cat here, I think he actually takes a step forward. I think with the floor opening up for him a little bit more, I think he does have an opportunity to pass the ball more. I think somebody earlier in the chat, let's see if I can find it. I think I started, but that's what he was asking for. A little bit more assists from Brunson. Pardon me, I can't find it. But and Hart in that starting five. I think that's what Tibbs was leaning towards. Obviously, that's what we saw. I know you said you like to see Precious there. I still see a opening for McBride there. I do like McBride's minutes, not just this game, but just in general, alongside Brunson. I think he does a great job when he started alongside Brunson. But Hart, I mean, he didn't really do anything but do Josh Hart things. You know what I mean? He pushed the ball. He didn't score. I don't think. Two nice outlet passes.
Yeah, that he was on his. See, he's one. If even if he doesn't get the assist,
Hmm.
he'll get the hockey assist, and that's important. It's a stat that I kind of wish was tracked. I sometimes I wish that was tracked in the NBA because it's a vital part of getting the team in the offense quicker, getting fast breaks going, and sometimes it's not even a fast break, but just the fact of how you're pushing the ball up gets you easier baskets. And Hart is like he'll grab a rebound and make the pass at the same time. Like
Hmm.
those are just uncanny type of plays that just get that just keeps people moving and grooving. So yeah, like you said, regular degular with Hart. He's it looks like he's ready to go. Brunson looks like he's ready to go. So I'm glad to see that from those guys.
Yeah, and they didn't look like a well-oiled machine. You know what I mean? Like so, I think they got outscored. You know what I mean in the initial minutes for sure.
Yep,
The second unit came in and took care of business and got the lead back and tied the game by halftime with the starters back in. Um, so yeah, I think I've watched a couple of preseason games so far. There's a couple teams out there, Boston in particular, who look like they haven't missed a beat. Obviously, same 100% same team coming back. They have years and years of chemistry for most of those guys. That's how they're supposed to look, and I'm just so yeah. I say all that to say that it wasn't the best outing. Got the dub, which is the most important thing. Starters got their first light together. It's gonna be a work in progress before we can consider ourselves a well-oiled machine. In that starting unit.
that's a
Um,
fact. That's a fact.
so right now we're just picking out the positives. Not really too much negatives either, to be honest. Uh, what can you say? They didn't really shoot the ball well in the first preseason game. Boohoo. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's move on to the second unit. Um, I'll give you the floor wherever you want to start in that second unit. The floor is yours. I'm gonna start a couple of these comments to get back to.
Okay. I'm gonna start with um I'm gonna start with the guy um who's new to the team and the guy that I think when you talk about potential impact, slot available to come in and do your thing, losing DiVincenzo has a lot of people up in arms, concerned, worried, etc. Right? You can slide Deuce at the two and put Cam at the one, or you could bring in a 7-year NBA veteran that shot 38% from the field for his career, and you can have Landry Shamet at the three, who looks, from what I saw last night and from what I've seen in his career, I mean, he kind of got a little Devo in him. You understand what I'm saying? So I hope the fans that were really down about Devo, including being included in that deal, which I do understand. I'm not saying he should have just been thrown away, but yo, Landry Shamet, you got to put some respect on this guy's name, man. And if you didn't before last night, you didn't know who he was, or you thought Devo was so great, you didn't want to lose him. I think you saw last night was very very possible. Was possibly looking at as a replacement and somebody that could step in and cash out from three. He plays with a chip on his shoulders just like Devo. One of them guys that you could tell is like I'm overlooked, I'm not respected. He kind of walks around with that kind of energy. I always felt that way about him. So and he needs to because his hairline's crazy. The hair's wild. You know what I mean? You ain't really your top tier guy. So, you want to come out there and show the people you somebody. And I think he's going to have a lot to prove. And he's going to be coming out here to prove it. And he got busy last night. He's part of the fourth quarter surge, that second half surge. Like you said, the starters were down in the plus minus, and that second unit came in, and he had a lot to do with that. So I'm looking forward to see how this shakes out because, you know, before this deal happened with DiVincenzo, I was really thinking that there might be a chance that Shamet would be either a DMP or he might just get cut and not make the team.
Mm-hmm.
But, things being what they are now, he has all the opportunity to show and prove who he is. We know Tibbs, he trusts his guys who he trusts. Once you get that circle of trust, like Deuce is, it's going to be hard to keep him out of the rotation. And I know we only dealing with Shamet right now, so I'm not going to talk about nobody else. But I'll just say Shamet, like I'm sure he's probably playing really hard in practice, and he's making it hard for everybody, and offense and defensively. So it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out and who ultimately, becomes part of that rotation because all these guys can play. Now we have a plethora of
Mm-hmm.
guards. We've got Cam, we've got Deuce, we got Tyler, and we've got Shamet. Four guys off the bench that all could be have an argument to have minutes every game, but they're all not going to get minutes. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out.
So
So what I'm saying is, I'm glad to see that Shamet is going to make it very hard for the team to decide. You understand? And that if and when there is a situation where we need somebody to step up, we see the quality that we have if he has to be the person that is not playing and has to then be thrown in the game.
this is why I rock with you, Shuttle. Cause last week, as we was ending the show, you you voiced your sentiments about Sherman. Exactly what you admitted. You know what I mean? Like you thought he was the option to get cut earlier. You know what I mean? We not really gonna utilize him. Or but now you're acknowledging he had number one, his fight. There's something about a guy who's on a non-guaranteed contract. You know what I mean? Fighting for his life. Cam's been in that situation as well in the past. You know what I mean? So yeah, those two guys. We're gonna talk about Deuce, but those two guys, what I mean, have chemistry with each other as well. I think that showed in their stint on the floor. But Shamit, man, I think he got a spot, man. I know it's not guaranteed until it's guaranteed, and that'll be, what I mean, that's when we know. But I think he opened a lot of fans' eyes, me being one of them. Shout out to Queen. She brought up, the possibility or the hot take of, if he could even start with, what I mean, be a starter.
She did
So
say that.
You know, she was high. She was high on him from the beginning. Um, Everything I kept hearing about him was defensive liability and that part. He could shoot, but it was always that. But watching him on the floor, I seen a little feistiness to him. He may not be a great on ball um defender, but off ball, I see him get a couple steals. You know what I mean? And to watch him do it, you know what I mean? Watch him make the reads, defensive reads. That's basketball IQ. Um, the shot was wet. He got a little mid range as well, so it's not just strictly behind the line. You know what I mean, I could only shoot threes. No, he could take a couple steps in and shoot a mid range and don't hesitate. He doesn't hesitate. That's one of the that's one of those sticking points with a good shooter. When you know he's out there to get his shot, and that's what he does. I think he could be vital. Collectively as a team, I think we could make up for the loss of DiVincenzo. I know a lot of people was that was their sticking point in the trade. Oh, why we had to give up Devo? You know, we didn't get to see him. Da 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 da. But my main thing with Devo was, as much as I like him and I like what he brought to the team, it was a breakout year for him. You know what I mean? So it's not like it was one year. It was a great year, one of the best ever, but it was a breakout year. Can we get another guy on the team to have a breakout year? Can we get two guys to have breakout years? You know, a lot of guys under Tibbs have had breakout years for us and over the years. You know what I mean? iHeart just got paid 30 million a year, damn near, based off of a breakout year.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So, and a lot of that has to do with opportunity. Devo and iHeart both had the opportunity to have breakout years. Um, with everything we went through with the injuries and losing guys and trading guys. So yeah, I don't know. We talked about it. We don't know if Devo would have had that same opportunity. We don't know if well, I think iHeart would have for sure, but we don't know if Devo would have had that same opportunity. You know what I mean? Moving forward, and he may not have the same exact opportunity in Minnesota moving forward.
yeah,
So it's going to be an adjustment for him either way. Shamet, on the other hand, like I said, those non guarantees, you're fighting night in and night out. You fighting in practice. You know what I mean? Like you fighting to really make the team. And shout out to him, man. He showed out. And I think that's part of that's where that veteran experience comes in handy. It's one thing to have played in the league, have performed in the league, and know what you're capable of, and then you got to prove it. And it's another thing, you know, being a young guy, a rookie, or you know, a younger guy trying to make his a non drafted player trying to make the league when you don't have that track record behind you. So yeah, Shamit stood out for me the most because I thought he was gonna have a role on the team no matter what. But I think what Queen said isn't that crazy anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I think he could start if that's what we need. But yeah, anything you want to add, and then I'm gonna talk about Payne as well, and then the
I
guy who
don't,
stood out the
I don't,
most.
I don't think he's starting.
No, 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 no. Not. I'm saying he could. I'm not saying like God forbid things go left. You know what I mean? Somebody got to sit down, whatever. I think he could start. I could see it. I could see him running with that unit and it not being a detriment. Granted, he also played against second unit guys, but I didn't see him. I didn't see him get targeted either. You know what I mean? Now, granted, maybe these younger second unit guys don't even Charlotte's young team anyway. eh, Maybe they don't even know how to like target guys yet. You know what I mean? Like, but Yeah, I think he showed good things on both ends, defensively and offensively.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing how it shakes out.
Cam got the nod at the point guard, backup point guard, played alongside Deuce, played three guard lineup actually, you know what I mean, alongside Shamet as well. I liked what I saw from Cam early. Um I've never been the super high on Cam, but again, he has that veteran experience as well. He has that dog in him, that fight in him, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, was almost out the league. So he knows what it takes to fight to get back in the league, what it takes to stay in the league. He's poised. I think my biggest concern with him is, does he get 3 point happy? I know he's been a pretty good 3 point shooter throughout his career, but and it may just be the optics. I gotta be on record. You know what I mean? Like I
Nah, he one of them guys that, oh, Cam's with another three. He's doing a heat check. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's definitely one of them guys that maybe is doing a heat check before it's time for a heat check. I like what he did in this game. It seemed like just like with Quickly, maybe early on, that there was a concentrated effort to dispel the narrative of being a scorer and a shooter, and I'm going to make some effort to run the team and get guys involved. You know what I mean? Like, it seemed like he took that as a challenge. Like, somebody probably told him about that. Like, listen, you know, put you in Deuce, or kind of need you to take the leadership, run the team out there, get everybody set up. We need you to get people the shots more than we need you to get the shots. I could see that conversation being had, and him taking it. All right, you know, I'm gonna take that challenge, and he played that way. In my opinion, that's what we saw from him, and if he does that and he focuses less on threes and he focuses more on that, um, yeah, I mean, you know, maybe him and Deuce can thrive in a backcourt together in the second unit.
do you think, and this is where I'm conflicted,
Mm-hmm.
but do you think
Talk about it.
it's do you think it's more of a conscious effort for him to do that? And because I'm super high on Kolek, and we're gonna talk about Kolek next and what we saw from him. But one of the reasons why is because I feel like he's just a true point guard, and I don't know if I would say the same about Cam. You know what I mean? And he played some two, in that game alongside Kolek. So do you think it's because of his veteran leader, veteran presence, veteran knowledge, being able to adjust, adapt? Do you think that makes him better suited as that right now, slotted in at that backup point position?
I think as long as he does what he did last night, and he it makes it clear that he's focusing on getting others involved, I'm okay with Kolek being brought along slowly. I'm okay with it. Uh,
I'm okay. I'm okay with it too. And again, I don't want to go on record like I'm trying to rush things, because me and Josh almost got into a little bit of talking about it. Like, hey, he's like, slow down, like let it. You know what I mean? Let it take his time. I'm not rushing anything. It's just observations here.
as I said, I know we're gonna talk more about Kolek. When I think Kolek gets his opportunity, though, when he does get out there, it's gonna be hard to get him off. But you know, indicative of what you saw in last night's game. But yeah, I do think, to your question, I do think it is more of a concentrated effort. I think Cam came in more of a Brandon Jennings type, you know what I mean? And being a point guard distributor is not really, you know, second nature, if you will. That's something that's more of a learned thing. And you know, on this team, it's not you're playing with a Chris Paul, even though I know he has in the past. but you're playing with a guy that kind of basically is your prototype in Brunson. You know, a lefty that likes to move and shift and get into paint. It's like Brunson plays Payne's game, but just better. So, you know, you you don't have something to emulate where they're distributing the ball more and playmaking more for others to kind of maybe make it a little bit more natural. Whereas maybe like if a Jason Kidd was here, somebody to be in his ear and and that whole thing. Like there's nothing like that here from a point guard perspective. Hopefully my guy Mo Cheeks is doing the talking though. Mo Cheeks, the whisperer. Hopefully we're getting some of that. So yeah, and I agree with that, coach. That's what I said when Dante was traded. And even though as a huge advocate for Dante that I was, low key, I felt like he was replaceable when I looked at the roster of players that were on the team. And even if not solely by one person, by the collective of guards that could all shoot and play defense. So yeah, this is gonna be interesting, Tone. We got Cam, we got Deuce, we got Shamet, we got Tyler the Creator. We got four guards off the bench that I think are all worthy of getting minutes.
Yeah,
Some
and
people,
I mean, Shamit's ball handling is better than I thought. Granted, this is really the first time I've watched him as a fan of the team I'm on. So I didn't notice that aspect of him from highlights or whatever. When you do your deep dive, but just watching him, his ball handling's better than I thought. Cam is great in the pick and roll. That's one thing I've noticed. More to find his own shot though, and that necessarily not saying he doesn't find people. I'm just saying he could get a bucket in that pick and roll for himself a lot easier. He thrives there. Do you want to do Deuce first or Kolek? Because it's like I don't want to forget
we're gonna do
either
Deuce.
one.
We're gonna do Deuce out of respect.
Because Deuce had a hell of a game, hell of a night. 22 points, I believe, three assists. Um, I think he had the same as Brunson, right, leading the team in scoring.
Yeah, 22 points, 8 for 18 from the field, 4 of 9 from three,
Four, yep, 4 of 9 from three. Yep.
3 assists, 1 steal, only 2 turnovers.
Yeah, it seems like he's gonna be a bucket off the bench. He's like excluding whatever starter is playing with that second unit. When it's second unit time, Deuce is out there, no hesitation. He looks so comfortable. I said it last year. You know what I mean? It didn't matter what addition was made at what time. Once he got into the rotation and his spot was solidified, he ain't care who was brought in. You know what I mean? Like he's like, I ain't taking a step back. It's all step forwards from here. Um, I keep saying it. I like Deuce. Um, with the start, like next to Brunson as well. Probably because it shocked me so much when I first seen it. Now I can't unsee it. So you know what I mean. I think he could play with that first guy off the bench. So he's gonna get to play with Brunson when he subbed in for Mikal if Tibbs sticks to his his substitution patterns. But yeah, man, I think he's the guy in that second unit, barring no whatever starters playing with them. Defense, we know what he does. He's still doing that. I think there's more upside for him too. It looks like he worked on his ball handling. He's not. He's still not. Going to break you down, but just the steadiness of his ball handling, and not necessarily pick. He's only picking up the dribble to pull up, which wasn't the case early on with Deuce. So leaps and bounds from where he started. I just, man, what more can you say about Deuce, man?
We getting some of that summer league, that G League Deuce. That G League Deuce put on 25, 30 points a game. Nostalgic Nick, all aboard, believe that. Yeah, we getting some of that. We getting some of that G League Deuce. That's what it feel like we at right now. You know what I mean? Like you're like, yo, listen, I'm a bucket right now, so stop it if you can. All aboard. Yeah, and with Deuce's relentless, tenacious defense, you know, you can't forget that. Like the offense is stepping up, but I mean when you consider that defense that he's going to give you coming off the bench, that's that's not to be overlooked.
Before I get to Kolek, because he that's my guy right now. He's my fan favorite. I do want to talk about Precious, and I want to talk about Sims.
Mm,
I think Precious led the team in minutes last night.
33 minutes.
Um, if there's a guy that I think can compete with Mikal Bridges as far as leading the team in minutes, I'm gonna give that nod to Precious. I know that's weird in the sense of him not being a starter, but I think he has the versatility to kind of play behind Cat, behind OG, maybe even some three ball. Um, so I think he's definitely gonna lead the second unit in minutes. I don't think that what we saw today was an accident, and by no means am I saying he gets 33 minutes a game, but I think Pressure just he's almost like Josh Hart in the sense that he just does what he does, right? And he affects the game. It's nonstop hustle, nonstop energy. Nothing really stood out except for his, you know what I mean, his effort out there. He runs the floor. I don't know if he took a three, but I know he took a couple jumpers.
He made it
He,
three.
he made it three, so you know what I mean. Like that's something we're gonna need from him. He's another one that seems more comfortable. He's not picking up the ball and stopping and not knowing what to do with it. Now his energy is matching his fluidity, if that makes sense. You know what I
Can I,
mean?
tell- can I tell you something? I don't mean this to be any slander on anybody, but when you have a person that does play like that, that kind of energy permeates to other players sometimes. Adding a player like Bridges who's fluid, bringing OG back who's also a fluid, move without the ball, get it, bang on you kind of player. You bring in Cat, your center now, who's shooting 5 feet behind a 3 point arc, who's making nice passes, who's a super offensive threat. I just think that now I think the Knicks just have a better offensive unit collectively, and playing alongside a better unit is gonna make you yourself more confident. It's gonna make you feel like you don't need to just dribble it and stop it, or you don't know what to do with it. You're gonna feel like yo, you could do your thing and try to make some things happen, even if you don't want to do too much. But I just think that ultimately the addition of Cat and Bridges is going to be so good for the entire team. Guys like Precious, you know, guys like Precious for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And again, when you say you could see him starting or you would like him starting, if like whichever direction Tibbs goes, I don't have a problem with it. You know what I mean? Like I would like to see Deuce there. If not, you know what I mean, I'm not mad. I don't think he's making the wrong decision. If he put Precious there, I'm not mad. I think that could work out too. Heart there, whatever, like whatever it is. But yeah, man, I like what I saw from Precious. I think he has an opportunity to, you know what I mean, show some growth if he can knock down that open three. You know what I mean? That's gonna be vital. Give
Yeah.
us one
As long as
a
he's a threat,
game, 1 out of 3. I'll take that.
as long as he's a threat to score, 3 pointers or not. As long as he's a threat to score, and he don't get too much RJ Barrett on me with missing them layups, like he did last year. You got to bring them missed layups down. But he made a lot of hard nosed shots too. So make them hard nosed baskets. Give me 70, 75 from the foul line. Do and just play that solid defense and make the solid hustle plays. That's really what I'm most concerned about. We got enough studs on this team on offense. I'm not really tripping about how much offensive you get. Just like I wasn't really tripping on Mitch, but as long as you can make your open shots, your open layups when they come, make your free throw percentages at a 70 plus clip. He was 2 for 2 from the line last night. And yeah, man, get them boards, make them hustle plays, avoid foul trouble, and stay out there, be healthy.
Yeah. So I watched the game twice. I watched it live, and then I watched it late last night. Um, before I went to sleep. First time when I watched it live, nothing stood out from Sims at all.
Mm.
I thought it was like just Sims being Sims. When I watched it the second time, you know, a little bit more focused, looking for a little bit more things. Sims, he had a pretty good game. I mean, he was dominant on the boards, which is something that again collectively we're gonna need, but individually from our bigs we're gonna need. He looked like he looked kind of like he did as a rookie. You know what I mean? Where he was out there just jumping, grabbing them joints. You know what I mean? Um, jumping out the gym.
Yeah,
Um, and so utilizing like that athleticism to go get it, as opposed to techniques and things. But the other thing I noticed was him looking to score, getting that offensive rebound, what I mean, doing a little footwork, pump fake. I don't even think he got the shot off. He got fouled, but you know what I mean. That's still a step in the right direction of not just grabbing the board and then looking to figure out who I got to give the ball to, and you know what I mean. Be a threat out there. So I mean, baby steps. I don't expect much growth or much from Sims, moving forward. But the opportunity, if it's in you, the opportunity is going to be there for you to shine a little bit more than in times past, and he's going to need to be aggressive to do that. And he showed a little bit more aggression out there. I guess, like I said, attacking the boards and then just looking for to be an offensive threat. So that was great to see from Sims. And man, my star of the show, my guy that I've been waiting to talk about, waiting to get a look from that's not summer league, so it can have some more legitimacy to it. Was was Tyler Kolek, man. Tyler the creator. Um, obviously Cam came in first. He manned those minutes in the second unit while I'm on the edge of my seat. So the talks, you know what I mean, early in the offseason of Tyler being the backup point guard, and that's how the Knicks view him. It may still be something he gotta grow into and earn. Nothing is given, which I love. But I texted Josh. Shout out to Josh, Uncle Fulio. He was at the game. Jay Boogie, shout out to him. He was at the game. Um,
nice,
see them on Twitter with the pictures with Mike Green and all that. You know what I
nice,
mean?
nice.
So
That's what I'm
they
talking
had
about.
time. But yeah, I'm texting Josh and I'm like, campaign. He better watch his back. That's all I said. I ain't giving no details, nothing. But I'ma stand on that. He came out there and in the minutes he played, he had a couple of minutes with the real second unit, you know what I mean? But the bulk of his minutes was with the third stringers or the guys trying to make the team and all that. You know what I mean? So there is a grain of salt in that. But his game is his game. And this guy is a true point guard. We just talked about Cam, kind of having to focus on that area, and shout out to him for making the conscious effort. to kind of focus on making his teammates better. But I think that's what Tyler does. I think that's what he does in his nature, and yeah, he makes his teammates better. He knows how to run the show. Um, that pass to Precious off the pick and roll, nice diving layup for Precious. The 3 point. I don't think he shot the ball from three particularly well. I know
He's
he.
only he's only 3 for 5.
Oh, I mean
And
that's
he only hit a couple in the fourth when they were down, and
hey,
to the
you know
field.
it's crazy. I ain't even finished, but I was gonna say I know for a fact he hit two. I mean I knew for a fact he missed two. You know what I mean? And I knew for a fact that he hit two. So 3 for 5, 2 for 4. Either way, those are good numbers. So that's let me refresh. Let me refresh. You know what I mean? But the two that he missed stood out because I remember being on the edge of my seat like he missed it. You know what I mean? But he hit some big ones, like you said. On one off the assist from Campaign, we
Yep.
got to see him alongside Campaign, which I thought was telling as well. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I just think there's some poise about him where he's an older rookie. He's 23, not 18, not 19. You know what I mean? He's 23-year-old rookie. His age, excuse me, and his experience is showing, even though it's not NBA experience, it's basketball experience, and it's showing out there. Again, I'm not rushing it. I'm not rushing it, but Cam, I'm on record. Cam might have a shorter leash than you know what I mean, the typical backup point guard. And like you said earlier, when he gets on the floor, when he gets the opportunity, it's gonna be hard to revert back. I feel like because I think one of the things I texted Josh was I can't wait to see him with some of the regular rotation guys. You know what I mean? Obviously, the standout play was the pass to Precious, who is one, but I want to see him on the floor with, you know what I mean, a OG or with the Mikal or with the like one of those regular rotation top 5, top 7 guys. I want to see him with them for it to be my determining factor. But I feel like you could put him on the floor with whoever. It is not going to matter, and his game is going to translate.
Let me tell you something, and I'm gonna tell you this. And I'm gonna tell you one time only. If Brunson had to be out, or if Brunson takes it, even if it's just a game off, who would I want to play with the rest of that starting unit in place of Brunson? For me, it would be Kolek.
He's going to maximize them.
He's gonna maximize him. I also want to make sure it's on record. Don't make me find the videotapes. I was talking about Kolek prior to the draft. The Knicks need to get this guy. It's on my draft report. So my draft, so my on my mock draft. If they don't get rid of the picks, we're not just drafting and stashing to save money. Please get Tyler Kolek.
We need a MBK intern so they could pull the files so we could do that receipt show.
Oh no,
I got receipts.
I'm capable of being my own intern. I'll pull the receipts. I'll definitely pull them. You know what I mean? But I'm happy. I'm happy that the team has this problem. You know what I mean? I'm happy the team has this problem. Like you got four quality guards that all literally deserve to get minutes on the bench. Not even four total. Four on the bench.
Yeah, not that's a fact. And the
So
funny thing is, Brunson probably the guy who you know what I mean, arguably gets the most like the most minutes. Like, but
so my thing is, as I had alluded to when we spoke about this Tyler thing, uh, probably like towards end of summer league, is the one player who's now going to be most likely on this second unit that could benefit the most from Tyler is Mitchell Robinson. So possibly Tyler's ascension matches Mitch's return, and that's almost the equivalent of a mid-season trade, getting Mitch back. You know what? What?
Hey, is it, shout out to J Will, shout out to Quiet Money. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I know you said what, but yeah,
No, listen.
they
No, go back to the prior. Go back to the prior one. The reason we are where we are, like it or not, Rand is the reason. Listen, is everybody okay? iHeart stepped in and played great when Mitch went out. Um, OG played amazing when he wasn't hurt, and the team went on a great run with him. Um, Having assets of Quickly and RJ allowed the team to be able to bring in OG. Smart GM management allows you to have all these first round picks to get Bridges over here. Like this is a collective effort. Like I can't give Randall all the credit. Now, Quiet Money's message, right? Randall was a good fit. The team could do well. Yeah, I think there's definitely a great argument for that. Like I don't know if the team's ceiling is necessarily higher per se because of this trade. I think the team was looking at Eastern Conference Finals, maybe NBA Finals. I still feel the same way. I don't feel like now, like I'm saying, oh, now the team's definitely going to the NBA Finals. You know what I mean? I think it's still more or less the same, but when you have long term projections, you have things like Brunson coming to the team and kind of de facto maybe how analytics are telling you how you want to play. We talked about earlier moving the ball and making it a little bit more fluid and cohesive for the rest of the players on the team. I listen. There's arguments for both. What you won't get from me is Randall slander. I've been Randall supporter all through the hate and all the trash that's been said about him. So you definitely won't get me trashing him. But at the same time, you won't get me saying that the trade doesn't put the team in a good position either. So two things can both be true.
yeah, and I'm for the success of the Knicks, and I'm for the success of Randall over there in Minnesota. If we meet up in the finals,
See you
you
then.
know, then then we can see who won the trade. We can see who's who and what's what, and that'll be a great storyline and something we can have a bunch of content about. Um,
Ooh. Knicks versus Wolves in the finals. Oh boy.
either that or OKC. Either one, I'll be happy with. Jay Boogie said, "Where's the link?" I emailed you, but I'm about to get out of here right now, Jay Boogie. I'm doing another show at about 6:30. So I'm gonna drop you the link for that one if you want to jump in with me, Jay Boog, tonight. We kind of gonna double down and talk about a lot of this stuff again. Um, but with some new guests as well. So what I mean, get some more perspective. See if there's anything I forgot that I could throw out there. Um, but yeah, I'll text you and I'll email you the link. That was gonna be about 6:30, guys. If y'all want to jump on with me a little later, I got the delusional Knicks fan in the building tonight.
My God.
Um, any last words? Anything we missed on this game? I'm gonna watch it again
What
before the
what
show later on, so I'm gonna have some more insight as
all
well.
right. Well, I'll give you a tidbit to talk about later. DNP, Daddy A. You know,
Daddy A,
Daddy A with the
T,
DNP.
TJ
So
Warren.
yeah, he's new to the team, and he's probably the team at full strength. He's probably a DNP most games anyway. Uh, but you know, team at full strength. But guys need to take off. They need a break here and there, foul trouble, things like that. But
And one last thing though, Toppin in that rotation early. I mean not early, but he was the 10th guy, if you will. You know what I mean in that rotation. That was interesting. So I think the two of those go hand in hand with topping above Dadier, but also that's kind of Tibbs' mo, right? In the sense of guys have seniority. Just like in summer league, you looked at summer league, Toppin was a focal point or a focus point of that offense. You know what I mean? Like it was his time to shine, being the guy with the most seniority, kind of in that along with shout out. We didn't even talk about Washington. You know what I mean? He's the one that missed the free throws.
Shout
Um,
to him. Shout to
uh,
him.
Washington and the other guys we traded. You know what I mean? My bad. I'm drawing a blank right now. Um, well, yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit more tonight. Shuttle, appreciate you joining me as always. Especially in the Queen's absence. Shout out to the Queen. Shout out to Sim, the Podfather, Nick MBK. He should be back probably tonight. Or definitely tomorrow. And yeah, man. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you. Replay gang. Real Black is time. Till next time. 6:30. We back.
Peace.